But talking about WrestleMania, Brandon, I want to get, without going into the details of it all yet, because we're going to do a good segment, a bad segment here. But I want to know, just in general, give me something good from WrestleMania. Give me something bad from WrestleMania.
Let's see. I'll start with the bad. I'm going to go negative Nelly here on this one. It's the main event on Sunday night. I mean, yes, it was cool. John Cena got his 17th belt, this and that. But I thought the finish was kind of flat. That was kind of the bad takeaway. I know we're going short, so we'll go into that a little bit further. On the positive side, I think for me, I can't just pinpoint one match in particular. I'm just gonna say kudos to the women's wrestlers. The women put on a hell of a show this past weekend. You name the women's match, it was great. I enjoyed every single women's match this past weekend. They put on a hell of a show. So I'm going to give a tip of the cap to all the women's wrestlers. The ladies did a fantastic job.
And you started off there, right, with the negative, and I think that'll be the segment we talk about right here, and that is not so much a negative on John Cena. I do say that the ending was kind of flat. It felt a lot like when Brock lost a streak, because when Brock lost a streak, everyone was just saying, well, that's not the end, right? He's going to kick out right here, and we're going to get to the end. But then all of a sudden, when he hit the 3, you're saying, what? That's it? That's how it goes down? That's the end of this? And I can tell you, I was at Allegiant Stadium when John Cena and Roman Reigns fought for the championship, and John Cena was going for that 17th championship 4 years ago at that same stadium. And there was a moment when Roman kicked out a 3, and I can tell you that the fans thought that was the finish. They thought Roman had just lost. This time, John Cena is going for that pin, and the fans were very surprised. They were not, they were expecting Cody Rhodes to kick out, because that can't be it. But where the negative for this, I think, comes from is not John Cena and not so much the match, but it is from what we kind of and transpired the day after here. And we're talking about The Rock recently on the Pat McAfee show. And I think we said it before, but now I'm really, really, really done, because now it feels even worse. And that is The Rock. He's got to be done when it comes to being in the ring. I'm not interested in seeing him in the ring. I'm not interested in what he's got to give us. I thought he took us for a swerve, because I hated him. I hated everything he was doing, not as a bad guy, but just as a creative guy. Hated what he was doing to the product in the sense of trying to say he's 20 steps ahead. I know it doesn't make sense now, but it will make sense. So we bought along. He did the thing at Elimination Chamber. He got me back in the car, and I was ready for go on the ride. And then he got out of the car again, and he crashed it into the wall. And now I'm just sitting here going, enough, okay? You didn't have a plan all along. You were just being ridiculous. You took stories and just took them every which way. So we all were expecting The Rock at WrestleMania to explain his actions from Elimination Chamber, to explain why John Cena has any involvement with him. He doesn't. This final boss thing appears to be somewhat over, unless he wants to come back at SummerSlam or some other time and just try to add something to it at the last minute. This is literally Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Goes to Hell. I know, Brandon, you may not be familiar with it, but at Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason dies in the beginning of the movie. And you're saying, well, how are we going to have the rest of this movie? Well, the rest of the movie just takes us on a convoluted, don't pay attention to the first 7 movies, make it up as we go. He's got to be killed with this sword. He's got to be killed with this sword by a family member. He's got to be killed on a Tuesday night at 4:50. Like, just make everything up as we go to just prolong this. And that's what The Rock is doing. He's coming out and he's just saying, oh, this is the plan all along. This isn't the plan all along, because it makes no sense. You come out of the Elimination Chamber and now admit that you did just because they were trying to sell tickets. You join up with John Cena. For what reason, we don't know, because you're not even going to the payoff at WrestleMania, which is the whole thing. So, and then Travis Scott, of all people, shows up, who, no offense to Travis Scott, he's a great, billboard name, if you will, but, he's not Pat McAfee in the sense that he looks like he belongs with these people at all. He's not even Bad Bunny when it comes to what we've seen from his perspective. So you have this 140-pound guy get in the ring, and we're supposed to believe that he's a threat to someone. And if anything, he just makes us wonder, where's The Rock? I'm done with The Rock. He just takes stories that would be normally fine, and it goes back to last year's WrestleMania when we had Cody and Roman, because Cody won the Rumble, and that's all we needed. And then he had to just get in there and take us every which way for some reason. What is your view on everything when it comes to The Rock and WrestleMania and his future involvement?
I think he just needs to just stay out. I mean, I think at this point, just stay out at this point. If you're gonna kind of leave the, it's almost like that old commercial where like you got like $1 bill on a fishing line, like, oh, you almost got it. Like, he keeps doing that to us, and it's really annoying. Like, I appreciate everything Rock's done for the business. You know, obviously he's a living legend. He's the biggest name in Hollywood. All this, that, and the other thing. But for me personally, I think you either need to be all in or all out. And you're leaving the storylines in a weird place. It's really funky. Like, you gotta pick. Are you gonna be all in for a while, or are you gonna be all out? So if he can decide one way or the other, I'm cool, because I don't want this. He dips his toes in the sand and the water and everything, and then he takes his foot out of the water, and he just sits there. It's like, I don't like it. It's really frustrating. I just want definitive answers from The Rock on what he's going to do going forward.
And who publicly says, out loud to fans and the world that your involvement at Elimination Chamber, that a massive John Cena turns heel, probably the moment of the year, right? I think more people are definitely leaving Elimination Chamber talking than at WrestleMania, right? From just an event perspective, from that, people, Elimination Chamber, I mean, that was an ending that left people in the arena at home just saying, I hope we get something like that at WrestleMania that gets the world talking. And that's all because you just created that on the fly because Ari Emanuel called you to sell tickets, and you admit that. Not that we could use this or this was the plan or, hey, I'm 10 steps ahead of you like you were trying to tell us, but you openly admit that he gives you a call a month in advance and says, hey, tickets are moving kind of slow at Rogers Center. You think you can help us, give us a hand? So we make up a story to move tickets, and without the idea of ever even doing anything more with it. Yeah, that is just like offensive, if you will, to fans, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're making it, you're trying to say, in a way, it kind of comes off like, oh, we'll pull the covers over their eyes. They're not that smart. Like, it's almost like they're kind of insulting our intelligence as fans. So, like, yeah, that part of it, the way you explain that makes complete sense. It's frustrating, and again, if The Rock wants to be involved, great. Love it. That's awesome. But you need to be active in a way where you're continuing storylines. Like, he was he's been in this business for so long, in and out of the business, I should say, because he's been in entertainment, the movie side of things for a while too. But he understands the business. He came from a wrestling family. You can't just go do a story and leave it closed. Like, you just close the door without even finishing it, kind of a thing. So it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating for all of us fans. So on that note, I will say Saturday night's main event, much better than Sunday night's.
Yes, I mean, Saturday night's show, I think definitely the main event did deliver.
And by the way, if we go back on last week's recording, I think I said night one was going to be better anyway. So kudos to myself.
You did do that. I do remember you saying that you were very hyped for night one. Kind of putting a bow on this. There's so many different angles that would have made sense. The Rock actually could have been involved at Elimination Chamber, and the whole Cody Rhodes segment could have happened. And what The Rock could have done is The Rock could have done everything could have happened with just out The Rock, just saying okay, and then left. And then we could have had face John Cena versus face Cody Rhodes fighting at WrestleMania, which I think would have been a better build, because heel John Cena didn't make a lot of sense, specifically because we're all wondering what The Rock's involvement is with all of this, and we never got that payoff, so it made it a little more convoluted. So I think face John Cena versus face Cody Rhodes would have been a way better build. And then at WrestleMania, The Rock could have come out, not a big involvement, not do anything, and not even have to follow up with it. Just do it to screw Cody Rhodes for what he did at Elimination Chamber. And he could have came out, helped John Cena win, which would have made John Cena the heel. Wouldn't have necessarily made it so we're wondering how John Cena's tied with The Rock, because they're only just using each other for the night. Rock is only helping John Cena to screw Cody Rhodes, not to essentially help John Cena, right? Yeah. Just to get it over on Cody Rhodes. which could set up for a future John Cena or Cody Rhodes and Rock down the line, like we were hoping to get after WrestleMania this year. But The Rock had to come out on the Netflix show and kind of ruin all of that. So we could have got a reset on the Cody Rhodes Rock rivalry. And that would have been a much better conclusion. Now we'd have heel John Cena as the champ, but we would have less questions about, like, The Rock's involvement could have been minimal. And it could have just, like I said, been, are you joining me, Cody Rhodes? No, you're not. Okay. You made your decision. Go away. Wonder when Rock's coming back. We don't know. Wonder if he'll ever come back. We don't know. Just kind of peering off in the future. Could come back and hurt Cody Rhodes at any time. Come out of WrestleMania. Cost Cody Rhodes. John Cena wins. John Cena essentially acknowledges the help from The Rock, so it makes him the heel. And now we have the heel John Cena, but we left this WrestleMania with the similar kind of concept as we left Elimination Chamber with the fans talking about the heel turn and all that crazy stuff. It would have happened at WrestleMania. So you would have had the ticket sales for Elimination Chamber boosted up. You would have had the moment at WrestleMania, which I think would have been more impactful because it's WrestleMania and not Elimination Chamber. And then The Rock could go away again. And we're not necessarily wondering if The Rock and John Cena are together. John Cena can just say, hey, right place, right time. He wanted, Cody Rhodes and join him, so he screwed him, and I'll take every advantage because it's my last year. I'm going to do what I can to win. I'm not holding back. Stories would have just made more sense. You wouldn't have had The Rock had so much involvement. It's this like idea, like it's just to sell more tickets. You're coming out and saying that, and the idea that it's of all people. Like if we're going to have one person show up at WrestleMania, I understand Travis Scott, popular guy. But can we get him involved like we did Bad Bunny? Like in the Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre stuff? Like in the main event of WrestleMania when it's two huge faces? Could you imagine like Fred Durst having got involved in the Rock Austin main event at WrestleMania 17? Could you imagine, WrestleMania 18, Triple H and Chris Jericho for the world title main event, and out comes Josie Scott of Drowning Pool? It's that kind of stuff.
Wait. Josie Scott's from he's from Saliva.
Okay. Well, the one of the bands that was there that night. Okay, they were both at WrestleMania 18. That's just the idea.
I had to correct you on that one because I that's one of the names I do remember pretty well.
So it's just The Rock. Listen, I get it. You're a part of the company. That's great. I don't know what you do when it comes to creative as part of the company. You're on the board of directors. Cash the checks. Have a good time. But please, when The Rock comes out again, it's just a straight boo. And it's not a boo as you're a bad guy, so we're to boo you. It's a boo as you're playing a bad guy, but you're going to go into the press conference and laugh at all our faces for believing this for even a short period of time and go in and out of character like it's just a jacket you wear. That's why we're going to boo you the next time you come out, because we don't want to see you, period.